A quick video today because the upcoming debate with the two presidents could be the craziest ever regarding aliens and UFOs. That, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, is the only time I'm going to be talking about politics. That's it. All right? I'm covering this because of the topic in which they're talking about, not because of who I support or don't support and who I like and don't like, okay? The only reason I'm saying that is because once upon a time I did a couple of videos with Tucker Carlson, and the comments just got so... the waters got muddied because of the actual person, and people started forgetting about the actual topic. So I don't want any hate in the comments. I don't really care what your views are, what your thoughts are. What I just don't like is people in the comments being upset with other comments and then getting in a feud with others and back and forth, and it just becomes so toxic. It's not about that. I want to try to keep this with aliens and UFOs, okay? And it just so happens two presidents are talking about it. The reason I'm covering it is because, look, right? It's not just Joe Blogs down the street talking about these things. These are like the two presidents of the United States of America, baby. Come on! On News Nation, they sort of covered it a little bit, so we're gonna check out this. All right? The title is, Will the Presidential Debate Cover UFOs?
The war in Gaza, the border, all sure to be covered extensively in the upcoming presidential debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But that leaves plenty of room for other, as of yet, unidentified subjects. Because
I love it when they talk about aliens, they go, "Any unidentified?" Yeah, let's just go out there a minute and let's talk about something different.
There is now a push to get the subject of UFOs into the presidential debate. In fact, the hashtag disclosure debate is trending online as not only an effort to have President Biden and Trump address the subject, but to declare their willingness to declassify files related to UFOs and UAPs. That's unidentified aerial phenomena. And the subject may have more credibility than ever before, thanks to a group of scientists, academics, and researchers from...
Wait for it.
Harvard. Yes. They have collectively suggested that not only may aliens exist, but that extraterrestrial beings could be living underground on Earth, on the moon, or even walking around among humans.
Right, you're probably thinking, how did Ben know that? Because I've seen this already, and I know it's good. This is why I wanted to cover it. But one thing here I paused it at is because obviously what Harvard University said is they could be in space, walking among us, or underground, right? In the sea. We've spoken many times about aliens being in the sea, underground, always been here, right? And never left. Isn't that a crazy theory to think of?
Many of you are thinking right now about certain people in your life. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. Coining the term crypto-terrestrial to explain a secret UFO civilization, the scientists at Harvard have 4 theories on how those beings came to be walking among us. Number 1, they came from a different planet at some point, and they've concealed themselves ever since. 2, they're a form of intelligent species that have evolved separately from humans. 3, they're part of an ancient civilization on Earth, which mostly got wiped out at some point, possibly by a natural disaster. Or 4, there is something supernatural, like fairies and elves. Now, at one point in...
Right, so, okay. Aliens walking amongst us. I find that a little bit too hard to believe. The reason being is because most of us now are born... We get tagged. We get our national insurance. I say tagged. We have a little thing around our wrist to say who we are, who we belong to, our parents, right? You know, we get bank accounts, we get mortgages, and we're all in the system, I should say. So everybody is accounted for. Like, the only people that I suppose maybe and could be are the people that we don't know about, that aren't on the system, right? Like nomads, travelers of some sort. But everyone knows them because that's that person's son, or the sort of daughter, and the whatever, right? We've all got connections. I just find that too hard to believe So let me listen to these theories.
4 theories on how those beings came to be walking among us. Number 1, they came from a different planet at some point, and they've concealed themselves ever since.
Okay, they've come from a different planet. Absolutely. That's probably the main theory of it all.
2, they're a form of intelligent species that have evolved separately from humans.
Oh, that's a good theory. So it's almost like it just forked away. So there was humans and then there was aliens, like a different type of species. Just, okay.
3, they're part of an ancient civilization on Earth, which mostly got wiped out at some point, possibly by a natural disaster. Or
I think there's part, like, that could be a theory. Obviously, it is a theory. But I do believe in, like, an ancient civilization that probably didn't get wiped out. And then you could go down the real rabbit hole of, oh god, all right, that's a whole new video. Hang on, that's a whole new video. Let me just stop. This is gonna be a short video.
Or 4, there is something supernatural, like fairies and elves. Now, at one point in
spiritual beings. I mean, I understand when you say spiritual beings, right? I get that, and that's a huge theory of mine as well. I don't know why he threw in fairies and stuff.
Time, you could maybe say this seems so fantastical, but does the fact that this is all coming from Harvard researchers lend it any more credibility to the point where this will actually be covered in the presidential debates? And if so, what would Joe Biden and Donald Trump say? Just 4 months ago, or 4 months into his term, I should say, President Biden couldn't have been more dismissive when the subject came up.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
But I don't think he dismissed that, right? He didn't dismiss it. He said, ask him again. He said, President Obama said that there are things in the sky that we can't explain. So, from what I'm guessing, Biden knows more, and we do know what they are. So that's why he's saying, ask him again, right? I'm not going to tell you, ask him again, because he's hiding something. He does know what they are. I don't know. Just
that there is footage and records of objects in the
So Biden says there is footage and there is records. There are records.
skies, these
things in the skies.
unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are.
We don't know exactly what they are. So President Obama says we don't know exactly what they are. Biden says,
what do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
I would ask him again. And I don't think that was a reply to what do you think it is. He just said, ask him again. So he's keeping hush hush on this, I think.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, had a much more measured response just a few days ago when he was a guest on wrestler-influencer Logan Paul's podcast.
Fair shout to Logan Paul, by the way. Right? Like, to get a president, like, you've just reached the peak right there, haven't you? You've just, getting a president on your podcast, that's crazy stuff, right? I got Ian McNeice on my podcast. That was pretty cool, Many people. That was, Dr. Willard Wiggin. That was great. Anyway.
I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
And remember, that was coming from people that look like Tom Cruise, only taller, so there's some credibility there. Now,
to be fair, before jumping on him like that, right? he didn't just say they're beautiful people. Because I watched the whole thing, and he went on to say these are credible people. They're not just like pilots. They're others credible people that state that they're UFOs and things like that, and things in the sky.
Now, keep in mind that this question was posed to Donald Trump by Logan Paul. He zip-lined into WrestleMania before a match in which he launched himself off the top rope. Now, I'm not knocking him, but would esteemed journalists like Jake Tapper or Dana Bash, who are moderating the first presidential debate, will they ask these kinds of questions?
I think that's unfair to Logan Paul, really. I've got to defend Logan Paul here. It's just a question. It's a question that so many... It doesn't matter if you're in a suit. You ask a question, do aliens exist? You ask Joe Bloggs on the street, do aliens exist? You ask a news presenter, do aliens exist? It's still the same question, just because he jumps off of the top rope. Give him a break, right? To be fair, though, I know what he was getting at. He was basically saying Logan Paul is an influencer, WWE wrestler. Are journalists going to be asking the same questions as somebody who is a influencer, a wrestler? That's what he's trying to get at.
Remains to be seen. Will the candidates have to tackle this issue when the lights are the brightest and the world is watching? Maybe even other worlds? Well, joining us now is UFO Seekers lead investigator Tim.
I haven't seen this bit now.
Doyle. Tim, thanks so much for coming on. So, they're going to be talking about a lot of different issues. You think UFOs, extraterrestrials, is going to be a question that's asked?
I definitely think that UFOs and UAP will be a question asked. I don't know specifically alien. Unfortunately, there isn't any scientific evidence of aliens having visited Earth, although that's what I spend my life and passion searching for, because there are so many people who believe they have seen something in the sky or encountered aliens. I've met a woman who swore she gave birth to an alien baby. So I think because of there's two separate issues going on, the UAP and the alien question.
Right.
Of course, there's
See, I don't know, like the woman who thinks that she's given birth to an alien baby. I think that, you know, when women give birth, they go through so much physical, emotional, and hormonal changes. Obviously, depending on the woman and circumstances and things like that, but sometimes extreme circumstances, I'm sure that women after giving birth just, you know, just totally just not there, not themselves, I should say, right? So it's like, I suppose that, you know, sometimes when you have like that foreign body in syndrome or something, or you feel like something part of you isn't part of you, or it's like a rejection of some sort, you know, because you're just not thinking straight. You're going through so many imbalances. I think it's probably something to do with that than actually a alien, you know.
There's so much out there in the universe. Aliens exist somewhere. But as far as aliens visiting Earth is a separate question. Of course, the UAP is a real issue, and something is infiltrating American airspace. I myself have captured a spherical ball flying in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. I've seen a balloon delivery system over California. Yeah. So UAP is an important issue, and also destigmatizing it.
And I agree, and I think it's a serious issue that can't be ignored at this point anymore like it was in the past. My question to you would be, what would you hope our next president would say about UAPs or UFOs?
I would hope that the next president would tell us which country is infiltrating American airspace and what they're doing about it. Of course, the Chinese spy balloon was a perfect example of human-made origins for these kind of objects. Of course, a balloon was shot down in the 1940s because the mainstream media was working with the Office of Censorship in the federal government to cover up the balloon bombs that were coming from Japan during World War II, which caused the only deaths on the American continent during the World War. So it's things like that, I think, that the president really needs to step up and let us know if it's our own technology, which I don't agree with because we'd just be running a propaganda operation on ourselves. But I really think that it's some type of foreign entity that's been infiltrating our airspace with advanced technology. I mean, hey, even I run a drone photography business on the side, and I'm using Chinese-made drones, which I could never get away with using American-made technology.
Look, it's 2024. I think questions about AI and UAPs and UFOs are significant, and there's a strong likelihood that those questions will need to be asked. If it's not asked at this debate, it's going to be asked in the near future.
That's the issue, right? Whether we can or can't defend ourselves with these things that can go faster than things ever seen before. I'm actually now going to show you the full section of what Trump was talking about with Logan Paul. The whole UFO. It's not very long, but I'm going to show you that section. And then afterwards, I'm going to show you a little video clip that, I don't know, raises eyebrows, okay?
Aliens. I want to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah.
UFOs, UAPs.
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So it's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
A little fatter.
but these are perfect people.
Okay.
And they're not
crazy.
conspiratorial. They're not crazy.
Yeah.
And they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, "Gee, oh, that's
No
okay."
way. President
I
of the United
can't
States.
believe that. He just keeps his phone on. Well, damn.
I said. Was your
Who
phone
is it?
silent?
That's Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay, handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there. And, if you go to Nevada and you...
It's so strange how all this has been kept secret for so long, maybe not secret, but maybe just brushed to the side. These pilots clearly have been seeing these things for so many years, and they've seen them so many times. And I suppose you've got, on one hand, if they report it, it's being pushed to one side and never been spoken of again, or they just don't want to report it because they don't want to be thought of as crazy, right?
Look at that little section of where they go to look at the aliens, where they think all the aliens are landing. That, it's one of, I think it's maybe the #1 tourist attraction in the United States.
Roswell?
Roswell.
Yeah.
Roswell. I think it's the #1. It's the lines of
I
people
can't believe he couldn't remember the Roswell.
waiting.
The name of it.
You have no idea how many times I'm asked that question.
But don't you have access to that information?
I have access, and I speak to people about it. I've had actually meetings on it, and they will tell you there's something going on. When they say things are going...
So you've got access, so just bloody tell us. But then he says something interesting. Something comes up very interesting I wanted to speak to you about. Listen.
4 times faster than my beautiful top-of-the-line airplane that goes, real fast.
With no identifiable propulsion
Mach
system.
2, right?
These things are creating their own gravity fields, allegedly.
Well, they have people that are very smart and very solid have said they believe there is something out there. And, it makes sense that there could be. I've never been convinced, even despite that. I just...
So where he says, he's never been convinced, he says he's got access, and he's still not convinced, tells us really that, at least from what he's seen, right, the secret documents or whatever location, there is no aliens, right? We have got no UFOs and things like that.
For some reason, it's not my thing. But a lot of people believe that it's true. A lot of very good, solid people believe it's true.
What? And you
I know
have-
there are illegal aliens out there, but those are the ones that come through the border. We have plenty of them. Those are the ones I know. When you say aliens, I say, are they illegal aliens? These might be illegal, but we don't want to test them.
Yeah.
Because if they can go 4 times faster, we're not going to test them.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting question.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state, and you do have a deep state.
So he was talking about that there, right? A deep state. So from what I'm gathering there, he's acknowledging that there is other areas of the government that not even the president will know. And I think we all sort of know that and assume that, right? But in the same breath, you should assume that the president has access and knows everything that's going on, right? You would hope that's the case, yeah? But clearly not, right? So what is it that they're like? Imagine having that much knowledge and power that you don't even allow the president to know things. What the hell?
And certainly they could, but I don't think on this subject. I was interested in it because I've been asked so many times. And I talked to people that have said that they've, it was a sighting. And it's very believable. It's very possible that there is something. And why wouldn't there be? You take a look at the universe and you see all of the different planets and you see this, look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be something?
Yeah.
Right, so he's probably saying he doesn't believe that they're here on Earth. Like, that's the evidence that he's not seen. He doesn't believe. However, he does believe that they're out of space. There's got to be. And that's what I've said. It's mathematically impossible for there not to be aliens, right? It's like going on a beach and then getting like the tiniest diamond and throwing it in the sand, right? And saying, right, that diamond's us. Now, I've put another one somewhere on this beach. Go and find it. Like, yeah, that's how ridiculously, and probably billions of beaches, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's just impossible for there not to be aliens. So that's pretty much the end of the talk about aliens and UFOs, okay? But I wanted to show you this because although I do believe in aliens and UFO, well, I do believe in UFOs. Whether they're alien UFOs, I'm still sort of like, I want to believe. Yeah, I want to believe. I think there's a huge possibility that there is. But there is also a possibility that they are all man-made. And there is technology that is being used, alien technology maybe, and that we've just made them. And we're testing them, and we're just keeping it secret. I say we, I'm talking about humans, right? We don't know who they are, but which country is doing it, but somebody out there has got this tech, and they're doing it, right? That's a theory. So look at this. This could be part of this could be a movie prop. It could be something like I've not investigated this. I've not looked into it, but I saw the video. I was like, holy shit, look at this.
So a lot of people are convinced that the government is going to fake an alien invasion. Check out this video and then I'll explain.
Look at them. I mean, is that... man.
So what's creepy is that there have been a number of UFO sightings.
I mean, are these UFOs, are these like pods like that you can live in, right? These may not necessarily be UFOs. They look like UFOs and they look pretty damn cool. But are they?
Lately. Here comes Project Bluebeam. Basically, an investigative journalist discovered that the government alongside NASA was going to use a bunch of tools and AI to fake an alien invasion. And like a second coming and like scare everyone, and then they're going to swoop in, save the day, so everyone is like, oh my god, the government, we should totally trust them. They want to do this to form like one unity, like one government. They want absolute control of everyone. What do you guys think though in the comments below? More on this in my next video. Stay tuned. So a lot of people are convinced.
Yeah, so I don't know about that. I mean, the security of something like that, if these were actual UFOs that the government made to try to convince the world that aliens exist and there should be one government, I don't know, man. I'm just thinking that something like this should be underground, right? With multiple security measures, not somewhere in an open hangar that you could just willy-nilly drive past and start recording. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Or, like I say, these could be sort of pods that you can live in. You know, you get these pretty cool things now, right, in gardens and stuff. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, this short video turned out to be a little bit longer than I thought, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Tell me what you think about this. Is it going to be mentioned in the debate? Should it be mentioned in the debate? Anyway, see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Get the merch at Caspersight.com. Just Rambo it.